how stressometer. Today, we are going to experience stress management at a different way and in different kind. How do we measure our stress in a day-to-day basis, right? Let's know about it. Isha, can we move to the next slide?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Let's start.
Anything that's boring me, killing my productivity and kills peace of mind. That's really nice. So everyone experiences stress in a very different way, but the word stress itself gives us an idea of something at a very different state level. Don't you agree with me, guys? Can I have a thumbs up or any kind of expression on your screen? Slide view, Isha.
Okay.
Yeah. Click the next screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. One more click, please. Yeah.
One second. I'm so sorry. There's a technical glitch.
Okay, let's not worry about the slide. Let me know with a raise of hand if anyone came across any stress situation today. It could be anything. Yeah. Any stress situation? Would like one person at least to speak with today's experience, any kind of stress early in the morning? No one? Oh, I would give a live example today. Before thinking of these sessions today, I'm not sure I really experienced the stress, but I was unwell yesterday and I was really worried about the session because I wanted to badly do the session, but I was just doing a positive self-talk that my session, I should be present at the session. And this was something that happened to me yesterday. And today I'm all fit, fine in front of you. And I am experiencing with a very happy mood with all of you. I could just say that. Okay, we are on this slide. So my next questions to all of you is, how many of us want a stress-free life? Can we have a raise of hand? How many of us really we want to be stress-free? Oh, wow, that's really nice. So I just assume other people are just okay to accept the stress in their life. That's a fun and a humor part of it. Yeah, but I absolutely know that all of us want a stress-free life, right? And what do we do about it? When we want a stress-free life, what do we do? And what are the situations that we come across when we are at a stressful situation? Majority of us experience stress because of the work pressure, we are not able to meet some deadlines, right? Writing some exams, we get stress on that. What is the end result? Thinking of the end result, we start taking stress from now only. Don't you guys think about it that way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Next slide, please, Isha. So how many of us really think that stress is good or bad? It's a question to all of you. Is stress good or bad? Can we have an answer on the chat, like with a G or a B quickly? Like, do you think stress is good or do you think stress is bad? Both. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, depends on the situation, you mean, or depends on the stress? Yeah. That's nice. Wow. Okay, we have majority of the people who really knows that stress is at the both level, and it depends whether it's good or bad. So let's look at what is this good stress and how is it coined. So there's something called as EU stress, which is known as good stress. And when does this happen to us? And we have not come across it, or we know it as a different kind of emotion. So EU stress is a situation when you come across with a positive note and you perform your grade at that time. When you're writing an exam, it's a kind of stress you get. That's like a positive stress. When you did a running race and you have just been at the first place, you are at a stress level. Yeah. There is a situation or time you're getting married. It's a situation. That's a positive stress. You became parents. So there are a couple of such stress. This is called as a good stress. At a similar note, we have something counterpart of it, de-stress, right? That's the bad stress. But generally, when we interact with people, they always think that stress is bad or stress nahi hona chahiye. Is it possible that we do not have stress? It is not possible. As per me, I feel stress is part of everyone's life. It's just how are we going to manage day to day? Like at what level of stress we are, we need to understand. What is the stress we are dealing with? So when we say bad stress, is that those situations where we were talking, right? We are pressurized by our manager or our bosses, and we are not able to cope or deal with. We are at a situation where we are not able to respond. There are situations with respect to relationship at our family, with our friends, or with anyone, and we are not able to cope up with that's stress. But again, at what position your stress is, knowing that is very important, right? Let's know across the world and across the globe, how is the stats which is going across, how people are dealing with stress and what levels of stress they are, right? See, if you see our country itself, India, in the screen here, this report is of 2022, and if you see the stress level, India itself has 38%. And when it is at the stage of burnout, you're at the threshold level of the stress, I would say, or the peak level. How do you respond? What you should do? What are you doing? How have you come across this? We'll know all about all of this, and will depend. So just I want you to look at the entire stress level globally, how it is going to impact. If you see, India itself is at 80% last year. I mean, you can imagine how the stress is impacting our day-to-day life, and how are we going to manage it? I would pass on the next slide and the next session over to Isha, my mate, who will be taking you through this journey and how are we going to manage the stress. Yeah, over to you, Isha. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Supra. Hello, friends. So over here, we can see something, a diagram, a bell diagram. Fair enough? So this was given by Dodson law. So what the psychologists, they have suggested that the stress is divided into 4 stages, as in we can see right now, right? So initially, what is happening in, like, I will give you situations wherein the daily mundane activities or daily chores, like I have to get up in the morning, do my chores, attend meetings, go to office. So all these are situations wherein you are laid back. You're not at all enthusiastic, or your energy level is low. So what is happening? You become inactive and laid back. Why this is happening? Because there is less of creativity, there's less of enthusiasm, and it affects the productivity level as well. You are at a stage where you're bored. Nahi karna hai yaar, chodna. What will happen if I don't get up in the morning? What will happen if I don't go to office? So there are situations, and there are people who particularly are in this particular genre as well. And we do experience this on our everyday basis, right? So moving forward, we do experience optimum stress as well. So when do we experience optimum stress? So when I say till the time I'm in the yellow part, right? So initially, when I just move from too little stress to optimum stress at this particular level, what is happening is that suppose I have an exam, or I have a meeting or a deadline to be, completed. So I feel energetic. I have to do it. I have my exams. I have a deadline to complete, right? So at that time, we are stressed. We become enthusiastic. We become positive. Why? Because we'll be appreciated. Exam, if we appear well for the exams and we get a good score, so we'll be getting a pat on our back. Okay, great, Isha, great, super. You have done well in your exams, right? Your deadline has achieved. Your boss is going to appreciate. You are good for increment, right? So till that time, your stress is optimum, and it becomes the eustress, what Supra just mentioned. That is what is a positive stress, what I'm talking about, right? But eventually, when I reach the peak of optimum stress, what I experience fatigue. I'm laid back again, like I'm less of energy, my productivity reduces. So this is what is happening with us as well, right? Till a particular time, okay, fine, my exams are there, I have to attend a seminar, I'm fully energetic. But after a particular time, I start experiencing fatigue. It's like, high level, I start getting drained out. So there are the situations wherein we, experience this particular optimum stress as well. When I experience exhaustion, that is the third stage. That is where I'm experiencing too much of stress. That is overburden, overload. So what is happening over here? So suppose there is someone ill at home, or you are experiencing yourself, you're experiencing illness or injury, or there's a family conflict, or there are unclear job expectations. Your boss is shouting at you at every day. So at that time, there is too much of stress and you experience exhaustion. You are drained out. You start experiencing even physical symptoms like headache, migraine, and you also start experiencing, behavioral patterns like sleep disorder, loss of appetite. So this is where there's a trigger point, we can say. So this is at the peak. The exhaustion level is at the peak, right? Then when we move towards the anxiety or the panic stage, wherein from the exhaustion, I'm moving towards burnout stage, right? So over here, there's extreme level of stress and I get panic. I get angry, even at the drop of the hat. Are ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua. I start shouting, I start panicking, right? So this is what is happening. And I slowly move towards extreme stress. And eventually at the end, I'm at the breakdown stage. There are situations where people are experiencing breakdown, wherein they are, suppose they are, just had a laid off from their company, they are experiencing divorce, or they might be having some family conflicts, some property issues, some family obligations, financial obligations. All these situations lead to breakdown as well. So my friends, I hope you have got through the 4 stages of stress. And now I would like to call upon Monica so that she'll help you out to understand the symptoms and how to cope up with the stress as well. Over to you, Monica.
Thank you, Isha. So guys, you have seen that there are 4 levels of stress, right? So there is too little stress where a person is, under the load. There's not enough stress to motivate the person, to push that person to do things. And the second stage is the optimum stress, where is the right amount of stress, right? And there is too much stress, and there is a burnout stage as well. So we will closely look at what are the symptoms in each of these stages, right? So if you can see, in the too little stress, there is a lack of motivation, like Isha mentioned. There is a lot of procrastination happening. There is difficulty initiating in tasks and increased risk of boredom and related behaviors. Right? These are the symptoms that we can see in too little stress. Moving on to the next optimum level of stress, what we can see is we can see a lot of enthusiasm from the people, right? And there is a lot of engagement and motivation. We will do stuff just in the flow, right? And there's a lot of excitement, and there is a lot of interest towards growing and learning, right? So that is what those are the symptoms that we see in the optimum stress level. Coming to the exhaustion level, what we see is, physical symptoms such as headaches, muscle tension, fatigue, all of them start to show up in our body. And sometimes there are sleep disturbances as well, and also weakened immune system. We get sick very easily, right? Because our body is not really doing well, right? These are the symptoms that we experience in too much stress. Moving on to the burnout stage, right? So we experience a lot of persistent fatigue. Maybe in the too much stress or the exhaustion stage, we might not experience fatigue as constantly as we experience it in the breakdown stage, right? And also there is a decreased productivity, low energy levels. You don't want to move. You just want to, shut yourself down and sleep maybe. So these are all the symptoms in different levels of stress, right? At this point, I would like you to take a moment, and think about one situation in your life. I will give you 30 seconds. Think about one situation in your life that is stressing you out right now. Isha, can you go back to the previous slide? Thank you. Everyone with me? Have you identified one situation where it's stressing you out right now? If you have identified, please give a thumbs up. All right. So My board's preparation time, getting the next sale. Wow, wow. All right. So now that you have identified which stage you are at, let's look at the symptoms of, let's look at the symptoms and figure out which stage of stress you are at. Which stage of stress you're at. Right? Look at the symptoms and see for yourself which stage of stress you are at when it comes to this situation. Right? Moving on. All right. So, what do we usually respond? How do we usually respond when we face these kind of symptoms? Next slide, please. You can put it in the chat box. How do we usually respond when we face these situations? We usually respond with a fight response, flight response, or a freeze response. So these are the most basic responses that humans give when they are, faced with stress, right? But instead of this, I would like you to take some actions that actually make a difference, right? So when you are in too little stress stage, right, there are several actions that you can take. One being exploring new activities, you can take up new responsibilities, seek learning opportunities, connecting with others, right? These are all very important, and setting goals and challenges, because that will help us to align with our interests. It will help us to, uh, find out where our interest lies, and finding inspiration in different sources. And how do we do that? By trying out new things, right? And most importantly, prioritizing self-care. Self-care is such an important thing. Self-care doesn't need to be, going, comforting yourself all the time, but it could also be doing something that you need to do, doing something on time, right? And something that is very important is breaking out of your comfort zone, right? Taking on new experiences, embracing uncertainty, right? So these are all necessary actions that need to be taken in the stage where the stress is too little, right? Moving on to the next stage. What is the next stage? Optimal level, right? Right. So in optimal level, what we experience is that there is a lot of enthusiasm coming in and interest coming in, learning, and all of that, right? But what are the actions that we need to take? We are saying that this is the optimal level, this is the right amount of stress. Do we really need to do anything, right? But yes, we do need to take some actions even in this stage, even in the optimal level of stress, right? Self awareness and self assessment. We have to continuously assess where is our stress level at? Where are we at? Are we, following our goals? Are we following our passion, right? And prioritizing and managing time effectively. It is so important, because if we do not do that in this stage, it would always lead to exhaustion stage, right? And maintaining a healthy lifestyle is very important, right? And developing stress management techniques. We all know some or the other stress management techniques, but we'll be looking at them in a few minutes, right? And setting realistic goals. In the previous stage, we have to set goals, but in this stage, we have to set realistic goals. Setting realistic goals is so important. If not, again, it would lead to exhaustion stage, right? And seek support and delegate tasks. Seeking support whenever necessary is so important. And delegation. If you do all by yourself, again, it will lead to exhaustion stage, right? So I would like to ask you one question here. You can put it in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and speak. Is it okay to be in this stage for a long time? Constantly be in the optimal stress level. Is it okay? No. Thank you, Anjali. No, Vajrakiran, no. No, no. Wow. No, it's not okay to be in the stage, right? We continuously need to take breaks regularly, right? Taking breaks is so important. Remember, take a break or you will break, right? So even at the optimal stress level, we need to take breaks. All right. So moving on to the next stage. There's too much stress, right? So when there is too much stress, what are the things that you could do, right? Practicing deep breathing, relaxation techniques like yoga, mindfulness, meditation, exercising and physical activity. Physical activity is such an important thing because it helps you with the happy hormones, right? It keeps you healthy. It allows you to take in more oxygen, which is needed by your brain, right? And practicing self-care. I would be telling you this in every stage. Practicing self-care is so important, right? Choosing at least one or two activities that will make you feel happy, and prioritizing to do that at least 15 minutes in each day, right? And time management and organization. It's high time when you're in exhaustion stage. It's high time that you dedicate some time to organize your work, to manage your time, to plan well, to prioritize, right? And engaging in activities that bring you more joy and meaning. It could just be playing with a baby, or it could just be going for a walk, or sipping a cup of coffee, or taking a long bath, right? It could be anything that makes you happy, right? And seek professional help if needed. It's okay to seek help, right? It's not crazy. Not crazy people go to counselors or therapists, right? It's okay to seek help, right? All right, moving on to the next stage, which is the exhaustion stage. Sorry, the burnout stage, right? You experience symptoms such as dreading your life, there is hopelessness, and all of that, right? And establishing clear boundaries is what you need right now, right? Why is it needed? Because let's say your colleague asks for your help and you say yes, right? Or you just let someone say something to you, which is very hurtful to you. It adds even more stress to your life, right? And sometimes saying no is also very important. Again, I'll come back to the example of, let's say your colleague asks for your help, and you have to say no. It's so important that you prioritize your own work first and then maybe help. It could even be your boss, right? Gently tell them that you're working on something right now and you would need some time to take on the next task. It's okay. And also fostering a supportive work environment. If your work environment is not supportive to you, it adds a load of stress, right? And it's so important to have a healthy workplace culture. So if you identify that there are things that are unhealthy in your workplace, report them to your HR. Try to make some difference. Or if it gets too much, it's okay to leave, right? And taking regular breaks, like I said, taking regular breaks at each level is very important. It could be just like 15 minutes break or 5 minutes break, just walking around your room, getting up from your chair and doing it, right? So regularly assess and reassess. And also in this stage, I would say professional help is a must. We can try to deal it by ourselves, right? But it's extremely hard. So it's always you know suggested that you take help from a professional, right? I hope you're clear with all of the action points that you can take, right? So all right, now I see Aditi. Aditi, tell me, where are you at? Which stage are you at? Isha, can you go to the next slide?
Hello. Am I audible to
Yeah.
you?
Yes, Aditi.
First of all, very good morning. And for now, in my case, I'm speaking about I'm at optimal stage for now, where
Good.
I'm where I'm really managing my time. There are
Mm,
some stress in my life, but yes, I'm having a clarity that where to prioritize my time and energy into.
mm, mm.
Very much aware
That's
that
good.
these are the steps that I need to take. So in my case, for now, I'm at the optimal level.
That's great. That's great. Great to hear. Lavanya, which stage are you at? Mohit, Nikhil. So which stage are you at? Figure out. I would say take a minute and write down 2 action points that you are going to do from today to make a difference. Isha, can you go back to the next previous slide, please? Yes. Pick up 2 action points, figure out where you're at, which stage you're at, and write down 2 action points that you're going to implement from today. If necessary, take a screenshot of this because it will help you out a lot in the future, right? And this is what you need. It's like a compact of stressometer of actions that you need to take, right? So I'll give you a minute to write down 2 action points. I would like to see it in the chat as well. Exercise and set goals and challenges. Thank you, Anjali. Done, guys? All right. So now we are going to go into an experiential learning right now. So I'm going to teach you a relaxation technique, which I found very useful, right? And for this, I would like all of you to sit comfortably in your chair and relax, right? Sit back and allow your back to be straight but not stiff, and allow your feet to touch the ground. Allow your eyes to close or to remain open. It's okay. Take several long, slow, deep breaths. Breathe in fully and exhale slowly. Breathe in through your mouth, breathe in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Begin to let go of noises around you and begin to shift your attention from outside to yourself. Even if you are distracted by sounds, it's okay. Just bring your focus back to the breathing. Now, slowly bring your attention to your feet. Start observing how the sensations in your feet are. Maybe you might want to wiggle your toes a little. See how your toes touch against each other or your shoes. Just notice it without any judgment. Imagine that you're sending your breath into your feet as if the breath is traveling through your nose, through the lungs, into the abdomen, and all the way down to your feet. And then back up again through your nose. Now, when you're ready, allow your feet to dissolve in your mind and bring your attention to your calves, your ankles, and your knees and your thighs. Breathe into these parts of the body and breathe out through your mouth. Notice the sensations that you feel in these areas. Maybe how your body is touching the furniture or your clothes, or if there is any temperature difference where you're sitting. It's okay even if you are getting distracted, just bring back your attention to your body. Now, on your next out breath, Bring your attention to your abdomen, to your internal parts, your stomach, your chest. Feel it raising and falling as you breathe in and breathe out. Now bring your attention to your arms. Observe any sensation occurring in there. The difference between the left arm and the right arm. As you exhale, you may experience the arm to soften and release the tensions. Now slowly bring your attention to your neck region, to your shoulders. Observe any pain or stiffness in those areas. When you're ready, bring your attention to your face, to your chin, to your lips, and how they touch each other, to your eyes, your forehead, and your scalp. Just notice the sensations that you feel there. Now bring your attention to your breathing again. Notice how the air feels a little colder when you breathe in and a little warmer when you breathe out. Now bring your attention to the sounds around you. Just notice them. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. So I hope that it helped you to ground yourself a little. This is one of the best grounding techniques that many of the psychologists use, right? So it helps you to be calm and observe yourself from in a very detailed manner, right? You can observe where the tension is stored, where the stress is stored in your body, right? If possible, you can practice this every day before going to sleep. It will help you to sleep very well. I have experienced this firsthand, and it's very helpful, right? And moving on. So now that we relaxed, it's time to know that your best is not a straight line. It might look different every day. Sometimes just getting up from your bed and doing your daily chores is the best that you could give that day, and it's okay to be that. You don't have to you know uh, score 100 out of 100 every day, right? uh, and sometimes it might feel like you're going in circles and making no progress at all, but when you actually look at it from a different perspective, you are making progress, right, each and every day. So it's important that we acknowledge our wins every day, right? And this is also one of the calming exercises that you can practice. It's very quick. This is whenever you're feeling anxious or need to calm down, you can practice this in a very short time. So this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. We have, we will be using our 5 senses. 5 things that you can see, observe. Let's say I see a bottle, earphones, my ID card, my handbag. Just notice and acknowledge them. And 4 things you can touch, right? Try touching those 4 things. And 3 things that you can hear. And 2 things that you can smell. Maybe a chocolate or coffee or tea, right? Anything that you can smell. And 1 thing that you can taste. Do something that you can taste. Maybe pop in a Tic Tac or mouth freshener, anything, right? So by doing these things, you will instantly help your body to calm down, right? All right. So moving on. So again, a reminder: relax, release, and recharge, because it's important. Also remember, you have your stressometer with you right now. You know where you are at your stress levels, which stage you're at. So it's in your hands right now to take those actions that make difference, right? So remember to relax, release, and recharge. And take breaks or else you will break. So we will be providing you with a few links in your chat box. This is a TED talk that talks about how our perspective on stress can impact our performance. Right? Do watch this. We will be posting this in your chat box. So right now we have come to the end of the session, Isha. So in this session, we have come to know how important stress is in our lives. There is no life without stress. Admit it, right? We can only manage stress, we cannot eliminate it. There is no life without stress. And recognizing stress symptoms in each stage. And we have also seen the stressometer and assessed where you are at, right? And we have looked across multiple stress management strategies that we need to take up, right? And you also have jotted down 2 action points. This is your personalized stress management plan for yourself, right? So these are the things that we have learned today. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, we will answer them. And thank you once again for each of you for your valuable participation. This session would not have been possible if it's not for your participation. So thank you very, very much. If you have any questions, please do ask. We are here for another 15 minutes. So you can open your, you can unmute yourself and talk, or you can post your questions on the chat box. Any questions? Or else, if there are no questions from anyone, we would like to hear how you felt about the session.
I think very amazing session. Let me start, Monica, Isha, Subra, very, very well done. I think this is how the session should be. Crisp, to the point, very engaging, and very effective. I personally learned a lot. Especially that the grid of 4 levels is very interesting. It gives us an opportunity to reflect and see where we are and what are some of the actions that we can take. Very well done, I would say. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much, Rahul.
Means
a lot to us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you.
Also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Aparna for the guidance. Although she's in another workshop today, she's not able to join, but she would have loved to. But I'm sure she will go through the recording. And also my gratitude to Anjay, who always been very supportive in terms of the CTF batch and ensuring every participant is able to complete the program very well. Thank you, Anjay, for always being so supportive and dedicated. And also thanks to Preeti, who has been an awesome host as usual. Preeti, you are wonderful. And thank you for putting all of this together. Very well done.
Thank you. We have to thank you for giving us this opportunity, Rahul and Aparna and all the ProTouch team.
ProTouch team.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you
so
much.
If you don't have any questions or anything to say, we can close the session. Right, Isha?
Yes, definitely.
We are good. We are good. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Yes,
thank you, Adit. Thank you, Adit. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks for joining
everyone.
us.
Thank you, Monica,
Bye-bye. Thank
Isha, Shupra, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Have a
Stay
good
in
day.
touch,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you.
Beautiful,
Stay in
wonderful
touch.
training. It was really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you. Bye-bye.